So you've probably heard that it's so much better to have a self-hosted WordPress website than it is to have something like WordPress.com, Wix, or Weebly, or Blogger. But now you're wondering, how do I set that up? In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a self-hosted WordPress website using NameSilo and SiteGround. Alright guys, so we're all set up here. We've got our stopwatch over here on the left, and I'm open to the NameSilo website. I'm going to just click this little start button right here, and we will be off to the races. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is search for the domain name that I want. And I know that this is available because I recently searched for it. So I'm going to click the .com box. If you want any of these other domain extensions, go ahead and click that. I'll click Register Checked Domains. Okay, and all I'm going to configure over here is set the privacy setting to Who is Privacy. And then I don't have a coupon code, so I will just click Continue. All right, so now we have to actually create a new account. Okay, now I'll click Create My New Account. Hopefully that'll work, and it did. So for my payment, let's just fill all this in. All right, now I'll click Place My Order, and we should be done. At least we're done getting our domain name. All right, so it says your order has been processed. Click here to manage your domains. So I will click here. And there we go. Here's my new domain name. So I'm in my account right now. I'm not going to close this window because I will need something from it later. I'm going to open a new window, and now I'm going to set up SiteGround. So I'm going to go to siteground.com. And look, we're only at 3 minutes. Now I'm going to go to Get Started under Reliable Web Hosting. You can actually go to Managed Web Hosting too. It's going to take you to the same page if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to sign up for the startup plan. You can get the Grow Big or the Go Geek, but since this is just a tutorial, I'm going to sign up for the cheapest one because I don't want to have to, you know, spend more money than necessary just for a tutorial. So I already have a domain, so that's what I'm going to put in right here. Now that's the one I just bought, and I'll click Proceed. And I'll have to fill in all my information again. I'll have to fast forward so that you're not so bored. Okay, so now I'm going to just sign up for the trial for 1 month. But if you are setting up an actual website, not just a tutorial, then you should probably select 12 months. All right, so I will confirm that I have read and agreed to the SiteGround Terms of Service. I do not need news and special offers because I already get those. And awesome, so we're at what, maybe 5 minutes and almost 30 seconds. And so far we have already bought our domain name and signed up for SiteGround. The next thing we're going to do is actually set up our WordPress site. So now I'm actually going to click this little button right here that says Proceed to Customer Area. And I am going to start a new website. Okay, so we're going to set up the new website. I'm going to click Start a New Website, and down here it says please choose software to install. Just click here on WordPress. And this is where you can select your login details. Okay, and then I'm just going to click confirm. So make sure that you write all of this information down. If you don't, then you may have to try and figure out what your username and password are later, which can be a bit of a pain. Okay, so you have requested to install WordPress. That's correct. I do not want to add SG Site Scanner. You can if you want to, but I choose not to. I will confirm that I have read the terms of service and privacy policy. Complete setup. This is taking kind of a long time to process, but I guess that's par for the course. All right, your hosting account is ready to use. Okay, great. Proceed to customer area. Okay, so this is the main SiteGround members area, and we're already at what, 7 minutes and 45 seconds, and we've already set up the domain, we've signed up for SiteGround, and we've actually begun the process of installing WordPress, but we're not quite finished. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have to do is we are going to have to tell NameSilo where our site is actually going to be hosted, and you do this by going to My Accounts on SiteGround. And then you go to Information and Settings, and down here where it says Account DNS, you're going to need this information right here, where it says ns1.siteground326.com. Now I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back in here to my domain manager on NameSilo, and I'm going to click on my new domain. All right, so here's what we need to change. Down here where it says name servers, click that button, change. And this is what we're going to change. I'm going to replace this. I'll paste that in. I have to go back to the SiteGround page and highlight this and copy it. And I'm just going to delete this one. And I'll click submit. Awesome. Okay, so now it says name servers NS1 SiteGround 326 and NS2 SiteGround 326. So we are all good on NameSilo, and we can actually just close this window. So now we're back at the SiteGround window, and we can actually really start setting up the actual WordPress site. So let's go to My Accounts. And what we want to do now is to go to the admin panel. Make sure that you've got your domain here. If you have multiple domains, you'll see multiple ones listed under here, and you'll have to choose which one that you go to the admin panel for. So let's go to the admin panel. Waiting. All right, so this is our WordPress login page. Here's where you will put in your credentials that you set up earlier. I'll click login. All right, so now SiteGround is pretty cool because it has this sort of WordPress wizard, and it's very easy to use. So let's go through that now. Let's go to Start Now. And what it's going to ask you to do first is choose a theme. Now it says we've gathered some of the best free and paid themes. So if you want, you can choose a theme here. And because this is a tutorial and I want to show you how to get up and running quickly, I will choose one of these free themes. Let's go ahead and choose Makeup Artist. Great design choice. That's fine. We'll click Confirm. And then if you want, you can add some plugins. Again, just look through these and see if you want to install them. I can install one for you now if you want. Let's see. Let's do Jetpack and Contact Form. That should be all right. Let's click Continue. And marketing. One of the best SEO plugins is this one by Yoast. So I will definitely select that one. And I'll click Complete. All right, so now what they're doing is they are installing the theme and the plugins that you chose. And in just a second, we're actually going to be able to go to the site and see what it looks like. Okay, so it says, congrats, your site is ready. I'm going to go to the dashboard. You can choose view site if you want, but I'm going to go to the dashboard so that you can see what it looks like to have WordPress fully installed and what the dashboard actually looks like. So this is the dashboard. You've got some options here at the top. You can view your site, etc. And over here on the left side, this is where your main menu is. So if you want to add a new post, you would go to posts. If you want to add a new page, such as your contact form or your about page or your terms of service, you would go to pages and click add new page. If you would like to set up the customize the theme, you can go to, well, I think you can go to themes and then customize, or you can go straight to customize. The widgets submenu down here, or the widgets option down here in this little submenu, I should say, that is where you will configure your widgets. And depending on the theme you have, your widgets will appear in various places in your theme. Usually there's like a sidebar widget, and there's a footer widget, and sometimes there's a header widget. If you would like to configure menus, you can do that from here. What else should I show you? And the other things that are kind of important are in settings. You want to go to General and set all this up. And then you can also click down here into writing, reading, etc. to make sure that you've got the right settings down there. But let's go to the site and see what that looks like. I like to do, well, go up to my blog and go to visit site, but what I like to do is click right click on my mouse, and then click open link in new tab. Because if you don't do that, it'll open in the current window. And sometimes it's a little easy to get lost. So I like to open in a new tab, and this is my new site. So as you can see, I've got my domain up here. This is the theme that I chose. And this is all filler. So all these things will have to be replaced. I will need to replace these images with my own images. I'll have to replace the text with things that I've written. Yeah, so that's basically it. So I hope this was useful for you. We're in at under 15 minutes here, so I think that was pretty good. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give me that thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. And if you click that little bell, you'll be notified when my new videos come out. So I'll put links to all the resources that I mentioned down in the description below. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.